Hey guys, welcome back. Amongst all the craziness that is going on, today I get to disconnect because after months of searching through geometry charts and the linkage design blog and builds and this and that and looking at 100 bikes, I finally narrowed it down, chose one, and it is here. Welcome to the family. Nice. Well, so you know that I stuck to YT, and I swear I'm not a brand loyalist. I'm really not that kind of person. This was actually a thought out choice. So the box comes with some stickers, that's nice, and a mech hanger. This does not come with the bike. I had to purchase it separately. Always buy an extra derailleur hanger when you're getting a new bike. Nothing under there. I guess it's on this side. Ha, I've always loved this. Read the manual. Because the truth is that it's very well made. So if you go through this thing first, there's a lot of assembly instructions in there, so you don't have to figure out what you're doing with torque specs and all that good stuff. So once the paperwork is out of the way, there's actually a really nice little tool set. Now, pump, torque wrench, and an Allen key. It looks like a pedal size or something like that, but probably useful for something. I am not going to use a bike stand because YT says that they send this in a way that you can build it without, and I want to test if that's true. Wheels first. Wheelset is out. You can't see anything. There we go. This is a TRSR carbon wheelset, and it's wrapped on Minion DHR's front and rear. And this is my first time with a bike with an eagle. And here we go with the bike. This is the 2020 Jeffsy 29 in the Pro Race version in Titan Silver. Okay, so first step, which is just getting it out of the box, stands by itself. Let's get all those wrappers off. My original idea was to guide you through why I chose this bike as we worked through the build. But I tried that and ended up with a 30-minute video. So instead, for this video, we're going to focus on assembly and some minor changes that I'm doing. And we'll tackle the why this bike in a separate video. But the key idea is that after settling for my geometry and build requirements, I eliminated bikes from my shortlist until I got to about 3. What sealed the deal was value. This is without a doubt an expensive bike, but any comparable build of a non-direct-to-consumer brand that I was looking at was around 30 to 50% extra. And since I'm on the subject of value, I want to be completely transparent with you guys. The retail price for this bike is actually a deciding factor for me. When I was choosing what bike to buy, I was looking for what I could get the most value for. And after I had made a choice and I decided that I wanted to buy this bike, I contacted YT Industries. They liked what I was doing with the channel and they gave me a discount on the bike. So I still paid for it, I just didn't pay full price. And I'm telling you this because I want to be completely transparent with you guys. I would have still chosen this bike, but there's no doubt that getting a discount on it made the deal even better. So when I said we were going to build this, that might have been a bit of an overstatement. This thing comes basically ready to go. You only need to put your handlebars on, your pedals, derailleur, tires, you're done. So as you assemble, it's really important to use a torque wrench. So the one that YT includes has a gauge, and as you tighten, you can see how much torque you're applying. So see there, I'm at about 2.5 Newton meters. The other type is a clicker type, and in this one you set how much you want. So I'm setting it there at 2 Newton meters. Click means that it already has the torque that you want. So I'm going to be using the clicker type just because I'm more comfortable with it, but they both work fine. If you don't have one, use the one that YT includes. Right now, I am just going to try to get this decently aligned, and then once I have everything in and kind of snug is when I'll actually bother figuring out what the proper roll on the bar should be for me. See, there it clicked, and there it clicked. Same for the top until it clicks. So with the last build, I had criticized the fact that as you were putting in your derailleur, there was no way to get it in to here because it didn't fit. But now it's very clearly stated that once you're ready to get to this point, you lift it like this, change the stand to be like this, and now there's extra space. And that tiny extra bit of elevation should give you what you need to put the derailleur in comfortably. So as you can see, I can now fit the derailleur under there without lifting the bike by hand. It's not a ton of space, but it works. Now we remove the spacers for the brakes. Keep these spacers Both the one for the rear triangle and the one for the brakes are really useful when you're doing maintenance or traveling and you don't want your brakes to get compressed when there's no wheel in there. It's perfectly sized for the rear triangle, so for traveling it's great because it just keeps this from flexing if you ever put it in a bike bag. Now the spacing on these is boost front and rear. I'm pretty sure that in true E13 fashion, this hub is going to be very loud. As you can see, it shifts gear just fine. So let's see what the noise is like on this thing. I like it. Definitely loud. And there we go. The bike is built. Obviously still have to change the pressure on the suspension, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. I made one in the past and there's a million of good ones out there. If you're interested, I'll put a little card at the top just so you can find out how to set your sag. Now this bike as is objectively phenomenal. You can just buy this and go ride and not change anything and it'll be as good as it gets, but I want to make it a little bit my own. So first thing that I'm going to change is the tires. This one comes with Minion DHRs 2.4 front and rear. They are tubeless ready, but they come with tubes inside, no tubeless valves included, which I think is a little bit odd. I had to go find some and I did. But you don't need to change these tires if you buy this bike. If I lived in a really mountainous state where it made sense to have a DHR on the back, what I would do is I would take this DHR off, replace it with a DHF, and then keep that tire as a replacement for this one once this one wears out. So I'm gonna be replacing the front with a Minion DHR in 2.5, and this is the EXO casing in 3C Max Terra. And on the rear, I'm actually gonna be running an Aggressor. The Aggressor is a little bit less aggressive of a tire than the Minion DHR, but it pedals a lot better. You know, where I live, I have to pedal a lot, so rolling speed is really important for me. And with this setup, having an Aggressor in the back and a DHF in the front, I get a really good balance where it works well everywhere. So, other thing that I'm gonna add is a Synchros fender. What's really cool about the Synchros fender is that it bolts onto the Fox 36 and the 34. So, two little bolts that go in here. No zip ties, no nothing, looks extremely clean. For pedals, I'm sticking to the Race Face Chesters. These are just, I love them. They're 40 bucks, they're super cheap, they behave incredibly well, they're light, and I have tested much more expensive pedals, even the metal ones, and they're just not my thing. Other contact point that I want to change is the grips. I prefer a little bit chunkier grips, so I'm using the ODI Rogues and replacing the original ODIs that come with the bike. These are a little bit thin for me, but again, that's a matter of personal preference, nothing more than that. Other contact point that I'm replacing is the race face lever that I have here for the P&W loam lever. This is my favorite lever by far anywhere. It's so soft and it just works. It's properly positioned. I got used to it. I love it. I'm keeping it. And last but not least, I'm swapping the Fun chain guide and bash guard from the other bike over to this one. Despite the fact that this one already has a E13 chain guide there, I actually prefer to run this because it has a bash guard included, and to me, you know, the peace of mind is worth it. This is super light. It worked very well on my 27, so I'm happy and I'm going to keep it. And the last thing that I'm going to do, which I'm not going to include in this video because I have a feeling it's going to take me forever since it's my first time, I bought a whole set of InvisiFrame cut for this bike, so I'll be applying that and it's probably going to take me hours. Well, there we go. With those few tweaks, the bike is now fully done. I hope you enjoyed building this with me. I am so stoked. I can't even describe how happy I am about this. I'd never thought I'd own a bike like this in my whole life. It's been amazing, and I'm really happy that YT was nice enough to provide me a discount so that I could get the top of the line. This is a bike that I'm sure I'm gonna keep for a bunch of years, just as I did with the previous one. Of course, in order to give you a full appreciation of what I think the differences are and kind of a review, it's gonna take me some time. I want to ride it properly before I give my thoughts on it. That being said, with the current situation, I don't really want to be exposing myself to risk that much, so I may not be doing that video just yet. But as soon as things normalize and we're able to ride freely again, that is definitely on the way. So just a mini bike check. You already know the stuff that I changed. So Minion DHF 2.5 in the front, Aggressor 2.3 in the rear, race face Chester pedals, P&W loam lever. Aside from that, as you can see, it's a Fox 36 factory in the front, DPX2 in the back, Fox transfer dropper post. 150 millimeters of suspension all around, the fork, the shock, and the dropper. The only relevant part I forgot to mention as I was recording this is that the brakes are SRAM code RSCs with 200 millimeter front rotor, 180 rear. It is 470 millimeters in reach, so it's a little bit longer than the previous one, and a 66-degree head angle, which can be tweaked to 66.5 if you flip this little flip chip that's over here. The seat tube is steep, but not crazy steep. If I'm not mistaken, it's 77 degrees, and that's about it. If you want to see the full specs on the bike, I'll just put a link on the description so you can go check it out for yourself. I didn't go too much into that because that information is readily available. But if you have any questions on it, or if you want to just know anything about this bike, understand that the review is coming later, feel free to shoot them in the comments. I'll be happy to go over anything. I love interacting with you guys. And yeah, I'm super stoked. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you had fun. I will see you for the next one, and happy riding.